This is Rugby Merlin and welcome back to the channel. So the two most successful teams in this tournament are there in the final, battling it out. This is the final that everyone I think was waiting for and hoping for, and it's going to be a hell of a game. Now, first of all, let's go into the recent history between these sides, because I think it's pretty important. If anything, Leinster have been a bit of a bogey team for Toulouse. Toulouse have lost against them the last couple of times, and in the semi-final. So Toulouse are always extremely strong side. They tend to dominate the top 14 over there in France. But Leinster have knocked them flat really in the last couple of outings. In the semi-final in 2022, for example, they put 40 points on them, beating them 40-17. So Leinster definitely have the upper hand in terms of recent matchups against each other. Thinking about the most recent titles though, Toulouse have won the title most recently, and that was in 2021 where they beat La Rochelle, who became Leinster's kind of bogey team for the next couple of years after that. But Toulouse got the title then. Then Leinster knocked them out and then lost against, famously, La Rochelle in the final a couple of times. Leinster have put La Rochelle to bed this season, but they face another French side in the final. The last time Leinster won was in 2018, so they've reached the final but haven't got a win. So they're going to be really searching for that win, and it's a very big match for them. Leo Cullen, I saw, mentioned that this is a different Leinster side to the one that played last year and lost dramatically against La Rochelle. And he mentioned a lot the defense, Jack Ninaba coming in as the defense coach, and he said that was a point of difference. That's going to be interesting to see how they can hold the Toulouse attack, who've scored so many points. Even that dramatic win against Exeter in the semi-final, not Exeter Harlequins, they scored a bunch of points, and again they beat Exeter as well, and Racing, and they've scored so many points this season. It's kind of unbelievable. So if Leinster's defense does click, then they can hold Toulouse to a pretty low score. It's going to be a big success, I think, for Leinster. One of the most contentious things I read in the comments, or contentious topic, I should say, was the resting of players for the URC games. Leinster fans were unsure whether that was a good move or not, from what I gathered from the comments. And I'm not sure. They put out a full side against Ospreys and I absolutely spanked them. I didn't write down the score, but they put a big score against them. And Ospreys are, kind of having a good end of the season, in terms of performance, but they absolutely smashed them. But then they rested players last week and they lost a big derby match against Ulster. So it's a big question whether it's more important to rest your players and give them a freshness going into a big match, or whether to go for building momentum in terms of a winning team spirit. I would always opt personally. I'm not the coach, but I would also always opt for the kind of momentum, the winning kind of momentum going into a final, going into a semi-final. I feel like that is more important in terms of boosting the squad, but they've gone for resting players, so we'll see how it goes. And Cullen is no fool, obviously. People who followed Leinster, he's a fantastic coach, and it's going to be interesting. And he said himself, it's either going to pay off or it's not. So I kind of like his attitude as well. But they're going to need their leaders on the pitch on Saturday to kind of boost the men and get them get them G'd up for the game. It's going to be absolutely huge. Toulouse, on the other hand, they've basically like smashed everybody they've played. They did rest some players as well against Montpellier, but they got the win. It was a narrow win, but they got the win nevertheless. So they have a little bit of an advantage, I would say, in terms of recent form going into the match. But we'll see if that gives them any kind of boost on the day. It may do, or it may not. In terms of playing together and getting the squad players involved, I think that's important too. So it's a toss-up. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. As for the teams, they both pretty fighting fit, to be honest. Toulouse are not missing many players. Of course, the Dupont, the talisman, is there, and so are Leinster's talismans. You know, Jameson, Gibson Park, and Tag, and all the other boys. So couple of players coming back as well. You got James Ryan coming back. It's going to be huge if he makes the starting 15. It's going to be a big call. I think the biggest call that Cullen's going to make, actually. Keenan's back. I expect him to start. He's such an important player for Ireland and for Leinster. That if he is fit, he will definitely start, I think. But then that leaves the back three a little bit up in the air for Leinster. I think Jordan Lama has really upped his game in this competition this year, and he's been very, very solid. Jimmy O'Brien actually is a great player. Jamie Osborne is in the centre and has been playing very well. But Ringrose as a shout again, back in the side. Apparently he's fit as well. So is some big calls for Leinster, I think, more so than Toulouse. But the good thing for Leinster is that they're all great players, so they can't really lose, and it's all going to be on a match day. So we have to see how it goes with that one. I will say that this is the first time that these two sides, these storied sides, have met in the final, and that's great for the competition. An Irish province and a French side meeting, and this time it's Toulouse, like the granddaddy of the top 14, and there's an added aspect to this as well, I think, because of the World Cup results. You know, Ireland and France will be a little bit disappointed, not still, because Ireland, smashed it in the Six Nations, and France came good at the end. But there's still a little bit of pride they're playing for, I think, particularly with, I'm thinking Dupont in the Toulouse side. He's gone off to play sevens, taking a sabbatical from international rugby 15-a-side. And I do feel like maybe both sides have a little bit of a point to prove. The South African teams are dead and buried in this competition, and it's just these two sides representing the countries that they do left. So I think that does add an extra element to it, and it makes it more enjoyable for me as a spectator. Finally, there's that the monkey on the back that Leinster have, that they've lost the last two finals. So, and they were in front, particularly last year, and they had a sniff of that as well against the Saints in the semi-final, where they could have won the game really, and Leinster players looked relieved at the end, and that's going to be something that's going to be playing heavily on their mind. Not sure Toulouse are taking too much baggage into this final, so Leinster have definitely a psychological hurdle to overcome. I think they're up for the task, and I think they can do it definitely. And I think they really do need a win. I really want to see them win. Don't want to lose another final, definitely. So I think they're gonna kind of get the psychological game right. And I think they're going to get a narrow victory against Toulouse. It's going to be a great game, a very close game. It's going to be a hell of a battle up front. I think that's where usually games are won and lost, and I think this game will be no exception. So I'll take Leinster for a 1 point, bit of symmetry, a 1 point win over Toulouse in the Champions Cup final. So I might make another video as the team is announced on Friday, I think, for both Toulouse and Leinster. But if you're going over to the match, let me know. Don't tell me the price of the ticket, but yeah, it's going to be a fantastic occasion. I hope the stadium is absolutely bouncing. I'm sure it will be. Tons of Leinster fans, hopefully a ton of Toulouse fans, and yeah, it's going to be a great game. So yeah, very close. Yeah, if you like the video, check out the next one here, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.